Well, with the final ship now complete with the raid being out, might as well say God's here if you can definitely get a team for it. But outside of that, we have the Echoes finally here as well, where we finally get our content. And well, I'm going to get you I'm going to just get you every single weapon reviewed right here, and everything you should probably be getting for these weapons. Although we don't have access to all of them yet as of the date recording this, which is June 26th, we do have access to the API, which will tell us everything we need to know about these weapons. And well, I'm going to have this in order from what you should get first and what you should probably sleep on. And one important question I think we should ask is how to get these weapons, which simply is, well, you can run the Breach executable for the Echoes weapons constantly, and you can run Expert for a higher chance to get also 2 guaranteed weapons. You can get the major stuff along with the Dawn Reprise. And the Dawn Reprises can also be gained through the Enigma Protocol, and once a week you can also get double rolls on these weapons, which are all enhanceable by the way. And well, first weapon we should be talking about is Lost Signal. First off, I gotta say that I am sorry that I have been unable to actually get a thing for that I want to do for proper damage testing with everything in the game. So once I get that, I will be uploading a video short, or at least starting to work on a video. But from the current damage testing, it appears to be one of the best ad clear grenade launchers in the game, and also really decent for boss damage. But other than that, what I can say is that the perks on this weapon are genuinely some of the best in the game right now. As in, you could get like 3 out of 4 of these things, honestly, I'd recommend. Mostly stuff like auto-loading holster, light to gold, threat detectors, task for all and feeding frenzy in the first column, and then in the second column you have the likes of Vorpal Weapon, One for All, Demo, Reverberation, Underlighting, and Wellspring. Okay, next up, you're gonna have to hear me out on this one, especially for this current episode. Line of the Sand. This gets Demolitionist and Bait and Switch. And gotta remember, the origin trait is a reload on melee hits. And Song of Flame gets you absurd ability regeneration. The only problem I feel like, if I'm thinking of how I am right now, is the fact that you would have probably spend more time instead of sparing your abilities charging the thing. But other than that, it is probably one of the most bad shit insane weapons anyways, because we also have, instead of Demolition, so you can go with Deconstruct, Rapid, or Clown Cartridge, and then instead of Bait and Switch, you have the option of Firing Line. And the only reason, as I said, I am having this high, and they're right next to Lost Signal, is purely because of the fact you can just deny reloading by doing either grenades or your melee. Melees with Song of Flame could do absolutely wild, and same thing with your grenade. You can just avoid reloading. And following my crackpot explaining, we have Sightline Survey, which, well, this is not good, but it feels really nice, is the best way to say it. I mean, first off, we have in the first column, Triple Tap and Line in Action, Keep Away are my personal recommendations. And then after that, in the second column would be either Desperate Measures, Volt Shot, Precision Instrument, and or Kill Clip. You can get the Precision Instrument roll forward of Crota and or Luna's House, so it's not really that good, but hey, it's still there, it's nice, it just feels good. That's really all I can say about this weapon. And oh dear god, my bias for Perfect Paradox wants me to put this below it, but I have to be objective here. Next up is the decent stuff in for Martyr's Retribution, this being Demolitionist, Unloading Holster, and or Heal Clip. And then we also have Incandescent, Desperate Measures, and or just basic ass Kill Clip. And well, that's it. Do you have any idea still how much my bias wants to put Perfect Paradox here instead of Marty? But I'm going to be objective again and just say Marty is probably better, especially with the Heal Clip Incandescent for a solar spam thing. Or you can do auto-loading with Incandescent just for something like that, and or anything with Desperate Measures is always fun to do. So it's just a good and solid waveframe. Like we have enough of those. Yeah, remember when I said this? Another one from this season that is coming is Perfect Paradox, which I am personally going to be grinding out for. Yeah, this is what I was talking about. As how we have Threat Detector, Field Prep, so we have more reserves when Cast from Shadows is being activated. Pugilist for more melee regeneration, as how on special weapons it gives a fifth of your melee instead of a 10th. And also Threat Remover, a new perk, which does the same thing as Threat Detector, but reverse it. And then all I'd really say for the second column, all that's really needed here is 1-2 Punch and or Trench Barrel. I'm sad Demo got removed from this perk, but at the same time, it really wouldn't have worked well. And who's ready for more frame testing? With Corrosion, that's how this is a heavy burst, which fires 2 rounds instead of the 3 and or 4. So let's just get to our damage testing before we do anything else about damage number or anything about his perks. Minors, it does 6,716 a crit, 4,203 a body, double that. And then Majors is 3,059 a crit and 1,914 a body, double that. And then Aggressives is our 4-round burst option, where it does 3,531 a crit on Minors, 2,082 on a body shot. And then Majors is 1608 on a crit and 948 a body shot. And well, following that, we have our adaptives, which for Minors is 4,293 a crit per bullet, and then also a body would be 2,687 per bullet. And then Majors will be 1955 a crit and 1224 a body. And then we move to our high impact fellows, which do 5,194 a crit, 3,201 a body. And then Majors, it is 2,336 a crit, along with 1,481 a body. Rapid fires on Minors do 3,229 a crit, 1,949 on body shots. And then Majors is 1,471 a crit and 888 a body for our rapid fires. And then Lightweights do 4016 a crit, along with 2,513 a body. And then Majors, it is 1829 a crit and 1145 on bodies. And now we go to the BXR, which does different numbers, and I was running the testing here, which does for Minors 3,651 a crit and then 2,285 a body shot. And then Majors, it is 1576 a crit and 970 a body shot. So, with all the numbers now on the screen, it's probably going to look terrible as I'm doing this, as I'm going to start editing it too. With the perk selection, this has Aberrant Action, Eddy Current, Pugilist, Perpetual Motion, and High Impact Reserves in the first column. Interesting, but not that decent, I'd say, still. And then in the second column, having really a bunch of great options. This being Frenzy, Swashbuckler, One for All, Focus Fury, and Volt Shine. Personally, with all these options, there's a lot you can have here. High Impact for a back-end damage bump, you can get Pugilist Swash for something basic, and then you can also get Enlightened Eddy if you want to just have a bunch of arc fun, or you can just go something with Frenzy for just a basically consistent weapon. So I feel like that is what this thing is. It is along with that, it can be a almost slot in for anything, along with an arc mastermind. And following that, thankfully, is a lot more simple stuff. This being Aberrant Action, another rocket sidearm, which I am all fine with. We just need a legendary void one now, and then I'll be happy. But this one still has decent stuff. I mean, Heel Clip, Ambitious Assassin, Field Prep, Threat Detector, along with Pugilist. All great options to have here. And the second column possessing Incandescent, Demolitionist, Golden Tricorn, Swashbuckler, Harmony, and Reverberation. A new perk. Now we have the Return of the King. Green Edition. Which, well, this can get a bunch of decent stuff here, being Threat Detector, Demolitionist, Pugilist, and Slice. Slice can be really interesting on this thing, as some class abilities with Stride are really fun, especially with Dragon's Lash type bullshit we can pull, and or Threaded Specters. And then comes our second column, which is Desert Measures, Hatchling, Swashbuckler, and or Adrenaline, depending on whatever you are running with your first column. And well, like I said, this is just going to probably be one of the most simple, but also one of the most effective options we have here. Now, my initial write of the script as I'm reading it, Violet says that this was just great but good. And well, I still gotta agree with myself. Primarily because the first column perks were the only one I wanted on Crate was Overflow. This gets a lot better options as well, mostly being shoot to loot, along with Threat Detector, and attrition orbs, which this is not the first time attrition has been in the first column, but it is still really rare to see it here. And then we also have Desperate Measures, Headstone, and Surrounded in the second column. Really good options no matter what you're doing. Surrounded I run on my Rosarago, and then I have a bunch of other stuff. Headstone would be good for just basic stasis stuff, and Desperate Measures for everything else. So yeah, this is really just great, but if they knew what they were doing and released it later, honestly. And after that, we have the Burning DMT. I am not calling it anything else. Which, in the first column, we also have Shoot to Loot, 4 times the Charm, Heal Clip, Keep Away, and Dual Loader, which, fun fact with these weapons, you gain 3 where you get a extra round instead of 4 rounds, it's only 3 instead of the 2 per reload with Dual Loader. And then you can also pair it with stuff like Desperate Measures, Incandescent, and Precision Instrument. This is just a really fun weapon, although I wish they gave you the option to also put on Textile and Stock, just for these types of weapons alone. Something that I found a lot of fun in, just because of how it feels, comes another Trace Rifle. Like, we have enough of these. But this one has Shoot to Loot, Repulsor Brace, and is mostly the only 2 rolls I go for in the first column. And the second has the Stabilizing Rounds, Demolitions, One for All, and Desperate Measures, along with Target Lock. Why do we need another Void Trace Rifle? Hollow Denial literally exists. Still. Although I will say that this is slightly better with the Stabilizer and Repulsor for the Angular potential, you can literally get Volatile Run from a grenade kill. This is practically useless unless you do not own a Hollow Denial. And that is the only time I would recommend this weapon, is if you do not own Hollow Denial. And following that, we have Patron of Lost Causes. I really want to just make the same joke I did with Hung Jury, saying Randy's Throwing Knife exists, but I gotta recommend this thing, honestly, just because of the origin trait being better than One Small Moment half the time. Mostly doing the melee gets you a partial reload, which could be better than One Small Moment does, which is just slightly better reload speed and handling, but you have to be out of combat. Because the only real thing I'd say for this is basically what I'd recommend on Randy's Throwing Knife. Rapid Hit, Kinetic Tremors, Triple Tap, Kinetic Tremors, or Triple Tap and Precision Instrument, which did not exist when Randy's got reissued. That is really it though. If you have a good kinetic scout rifle you like, you do not need this weapon, and if this got Shoot to Loot, I would have a completely different mindset over this thing, because Shoot to Loot Kinetic Tremors is actually really fun to use. And time for the one time with the machine gun, you're not going to wind up in a mental asylum. This mostly being the fact that it is from a seasonal activity and not from a dungeon and or the 10th Ring of Hell they don't tell you about. Which in the first column you have Heal Clip, Enlightened Action, and or Envious Assassin, and then the second column is Incandescent, Killing Tally, Surrounded, and or One for All. Personally, I want to say Heal Clip and Incandescent personally, but you can also go Enlightened Action with something fun there. Surrounded and or One for All is a decent niche options. And then Killing Tally as well, but there's really nothing much minus Envious to extend your magazine. And even then, Hammerhead does the exact same thing if you're not wanting to get that already. And well, I think this is the weapon. In my Paleheart video, I accidentally in the voiceover said it was a caster frame, but this is probably what I was talking about and thought I was waffling about. Ill Omen, which, well, first off, caster frame sword, and it is also stasis. And then we also have Unrelenting, Relentless Blade, and also Tireless Blade. And then in the second column has Surrounded, Whirlwind Blade, and Cold Steel. Yeah, that is really it. It's a caster frame with Cold Steel, which sounds really fun to use. And that is really it. I would say Relentless Blade and Cold Steel, I want to try that out, but Whirlwind Blade and or Surrounded is always good options for swords. And finally is literally a weapon that is outclassed by everything. Faithkeeper. The only good thing is its perks being Cloud Cartridge, Field Prep, and Autoloading in the first column, and then we have Explosive Light, Bipod, Lasting Impression, and Frenzy for rocket launchers. but I'll tell you, every other rocket, one for each element you should be getting instead of this one. For the light subclasses, this is Solar, Void, and Arc. You should be getting Crux Termination and or Hothead for Arc, Apex Predator for Solar, and or Breakneck Osprey for Void. And for Stasis and Strand, Stasis is Cold Comfort, and Strand is Crowning Dialogue. This is getting a reprise, and it is cooking, and I will have a video when Solstice comes around, hopefully this time, telling you why you should get this thing. Well, with that comes the end of the video, which, well, you obviously know I'm going to be making the joke about the YouTube analytics stuff, mostly. Well, I can make the gag saying almost 100% of the viewers of these videos are not subscribed, which is funny to say, but hey, the one time I'm going to be asking for it. And well, that is really it. Time for the outro, which, well, personally, what I'm probably going to be doing is I feel like I finally have something I can do for this channel, which is just these type of content, which I guess is insert another Destiny creator number 4862. But that's really alright, I guess. I mean, yeah, I'm not going to be the next Astacross or anything, but why does that matter? I'm actually enjoying making these and writing the scripts for all this. And the LP Candy video, I keep putting off because I keep trying to do stream stuff, but starting in July, I will actually set up a stream schedule, by the way. So that will be interesting to see if I can hold up to that, which I will. Which, honestly, that is going to be really actually happy to do for once. And well, I guess all I can say is thanks to whoever is still here, and honestly, I don't even care about the numbers, really. The watch time right now is all I really want right now, because that is really what the algorithm wants, is just watch time content, if I remember correctly. So whoever is sticking around for all this, thank you. It means a lot more than I know how to express it. Alright, I need to get to editing this because I do the voiceovers and then I do all of my editing. Alright, have a good one, and I will be seeing you all later.